Today we're talking a little bit about financial challenges in our faith. And these are the verses that are on the list of things to discuss. Our memory verses of mine. And this is also interesting because we have a workshop coming up. When is it, Chris? Let me put it in the chat. We have a Joy of Generosity retreat coming up in November, if I'm not mistaken. November 4th and 5th in the afternoons, 2 afternoons back to back, from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Central. This is a Joy of Generosity workshop. Chris Castro got certified to teach this course. I became interested in it. We were both very excited about what God is doing in our ministry and how he's using generosity. He's used generosity to fund everything that we do. And he is almighty and in charge. And so, Chris, we get a bonus. It's actually only 3 hours each day, not 3.5 hours each day. So anyway, join us for the Joy of Generosity retreat. Is there a link, Chris, that you can put in here to sign up? We're excited about it. I see Robert Hunt is joining. Thank you very much. I'm very excited about it. So God is working in and through this ministry. I see. So we should have a registration link here shortly. I suggest we create a space for it inside Mighty Networks too, Chris, and then that way people can join there and we can give them the link in that space for how to get on the call, the Joy of Generosity or a generosity group or something to that effect. I'm excited today to be talking about this topic about our finances and our faith and how we step into the challenge of trusting our own resources to do things or trusting God to do things. One of the verses that I want to talk about today is, let me see if this will come up. So now this I say, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. This is one of the passages that I wanted to talk about. This one. For this reason I say to you, do not be worried about your life as to what you will eat or what you will drink, nor for your body as to what you will put on. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? And that's from Matthew 6:25. Matthew 6:25 through 34 is all about not worrying. God is almighty and he's in charge. And Jesus explains very clearly from 25 through 34 that we really don't have anything to worry about. But if you're like me, this is a personal problem of mine. So in a way, I'm speaking to myself today. The thought is, the minute that I think that I can't afford something or I shouldn't spend money on a particular thing or that, I need something I don't have, I enter into this kind of scarce mindset that doesn't believe that God has provided everything that we need. So that passage in 2 Corinthians, now this I say, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. I get tempted to consider myself as, hanging on to these resources, when in fact Jesus gave me the resources that I have so that I would invest those in people and in the kingdom. I don't need to hang on to my own stuff. The passage in Matthew 6 reminds us that God provides for the birds of the air, and he provides for the grass of the field. And the grass is clothed better than Solomon was, and Solomon was the richest, wisest man ever. And the birds are taken care of. The birds get their food and they get provision from God. And so it's wrong for me to worry about where things are going to come from. or to hang on to things and be afraid that I can't do something, think that I can't do something that God is calling me to do. And I wonder, because of the passage in 2 Corinthians again, this passage, I wonder what I didn't reap because I wouldn't sow. I wonder what I'm missing out because I didn't trust God. Instead, I trusted myself or my own resources, or I limited my own scope and expectations to just what I had instead of praying for what God could do. And this is something that's been a challenge for me for the entire 8 years that we've been doing Follower of One. It was it was 8 years ago at this time that our website first came up. In fact, yesterday, is the anniversary of when we were given our approval as 501c3, the 7th anniversary of when we got our 501c3 approved. The 8 years ago that we got that done. Our 501c3 was approved on October the 12th of 2017. And then on November the 7th of 2017, the company that I was working for asked me to leave. And so then I started working on Follower of One full time. I also started doing some consulting work for people. God has provided miraculously over the course of the last 8 years. He's done some really cool things in our life and providing for us and making a way for me to be able to do what I do on Follower of One. Decades ago, about 20 years ago, I recorded a prayer that I wanted to help other people live out their faith. And now, 15 years later, here I am, and helping other people live out their faith and trying to do so myself. And to me, that's just very exciting that God is using us. He puts us to work in the lives of other people if we ask. Now, this goes back, some of my training actually goes back to the book Experiencing God by Henry Blackaby. And the key premise of that book was that we would look around and see what God is doing and join him in it. Well, I was bugged that I couldn't do much with my faith while I had a regular job. And I was struggling in that problem when I also prayed that God would let me help other people with that problem as well. And so over the years, God has made several things happen that put us in a position to where we could be a blessing to other people. And I'm grateful for how the Lord has answered these prayers. Matthew 6:34 says, "So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will care for itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." I'm challenged even because at my age and thinking about retirement, or I'm never going to just stop working. I want to always be doing something. But at some point in time, my expectations of my ability to earn are decrease. The likelihood of my ability to earn more money than I used to earn is going down every year as I get older. That's not the case when you're younger. It's going up. But as you get to my age, it starts going down. And I want to trust God anyway. I want to trust him and walk in the faith and the strength and the power that comes from believing in God who will provide. God will provide. And I think for me, the lesson is when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. I think that's in Psalm 55. I do a lot of Bible memory, but it all runs together when I'm on the pressure of a camera, and it's not a verse I had pulled out. But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. That's where I want to be when God scares me. God continues to provide. Robert says, God continues to provide all the days of your life as he has a purpose for you, and he will make it possible He will provide for us as we need it. That's exactly right. He will provide for us as we need it. And it's easy for me to jump to a conclusion instead of trusting God and waiting. Almost everything that God does takes longer than I had hoped. But God does it better. He does it so much better. And I want to see him doing it. It's so much cooler to watch God do something than it is to compromise and figure out how I can do it so that I can get it done now. I want to trust God to the degree that I see him working all the time. And that requires me to be patient. It requires me to rest in him. It requires me to remember what Jesus is talking about in Matthew 6:25 through 34. I want to remember that he's in control. And this is all his plan and his strategy. He knows how much impact you're going to make in your life. He knows how much impact I'm going to make in mine. I don't have to hurry it. There's no rush. May I do, and may we all do what God has for us to do in the lives of the people that we interact with every day. I think that's where we get to see this dream take place. And one thing so Chris created an event link in the, so that we'll put it in the chat, but there will be an event. You'll be able to see an event in the events for the Journey of Generosity retreat that will be scheduled for the November the 4th and November the 5th. I want to be more generous. And I hope that you have a passion to be more like Christ, which would cause us to confront this particular thing as well. In fact, we're doing something. It's kind of funny, but we've raised a little more money than we did. We've raised more money this year than we had done in previous years. And we raised our matching gift. We've exceeded our matching gift that we have every year, or we've had every year to date from Jasco Products. Jasco Products has given us a matching gift. And this year we've matched already that gift, and yet we still have two months left of the year, 2.5 months of the year left. And so some members of our group, of our community, are investing some extra money. They're pledging an extra gift to become the matching amount for people who are new givers who join and start giving to our ministry or give new amounts to our ministry in the fourth quarter. So beginning now. And so some people are joining to become part of the people who make that match possible. And then we're going to ask new people to join and start matching, giving money to match that gift. This is called the Next Level Challenge. You'll be getting an email about this in the coming days. It's really a God idea that he gave our board of directors. And the whole point is to get us to be the initiators rather than simply the responders. And so we're asking all of our donors to consider pledging an extra amount so that we would have the match ready. And then we'll ask all the new givers to give towards that matching gift. And this will only take place during the fourth quarter of 2025. So watch out for this. There'll be more coming in your inbox. But to me, what I'm trying to teach myself and become an example or a case study or whatever for in Follower of One is we want to live courageously, trusting God. He's going to do what he wants to do. And sometimes he tells us no, and that's okay. Sometimes he tells us yes, and we get to see cool things happen. And sometimes he just tells us to wait. I want to remember that even when I screw up, that's a lesson, that all things work together for good, and that God can cause even my mistakes to matter. That gives me the freedom to screw up in gear. And that's my challenge for us as believers in Christ is let's live following Jesus such that we're doing exactly what he wants, or we're trying, and that even our mistakes are made trying to do what Jesus would have us do. I see Bonnie has just joined us too. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining. So we've been talking about the next level challenge a little bit, and we're talking about trusting God. And so I'm going to give some practical ideas. These are things that sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't, but I want to be better at doing this. One of those is that when I catch myself being afraid that I don't have the money to give, I give it anyway. I just give it. I need to stop worrying about or wondering about what I'm supposed to do or not do with our money. I want to be a little more planned in my giving. And so I want to ask God a little better about the next 3 months. What can I give? What can I plan for? And what should I plan for next year? I want to be a little more ready for those things. For example, one of the things that I maybe have mentioned, I don't know that I mentioned on a Vision Cast before, and I may be out, but I try and keep like Subway gift cards in my car so that if I meet a panhandler or somebody that needs some help, instead of just giving them cash, I give them a Subway gift card. Most everybody can go into a nearby Subway and get something to eat with a $10 Subway gift card. And so I try to keep those in my glove box of my car. What's God asking you to plan and to be ready to do? What's a situation where you can trust him a little bit more with your finances? He who sows sparingly reaps sparingly, and he who sows bountifully reaps bountifully, it says in 2 Corinthians. He goes on in 2 Corinthians 9:8, and I did not make a slide for this, but I want to read this verse to you too. 2 Corinthians 9:8 is a great passage. It's the summary of this passage. And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that always having all sufficiency in everything, you may have an abundance for every good work. God is, there's like alls and everys, there's like 5 of them in that verse. God is in charge. He's doing his thing. He wants to use us to be part of that. And he's called us to that. And that's my vision for Follower of One, that we're the kind of people who are stimulating one another to love and good deeds. That's part of the reason why I try to do this live stream every Monday at 10-ish Central Time, is hopefully I'm on the air or just wrapping up at 10:24, because that's Hebrews 10:24. Let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. That's our job. And so I hope today that this helps you. I hope you're thinking a little bit more about your finances and what you can invest, because when we sow bountifully, we will reap bountifully. And that's a promise. That's, we have this opportunity to live that out in our lives. And I want to be there when you're reaping bountifully. I want to be there and celebrate with you. And I hope you're with me when I'm reaping bountifully and celebrating that with God. We have this opportunity to invest what God has given us to lay up treasure in heaven. We invest the money and the things that we have that we can't take with us. We can invest those things so that God is glorified. And that's our challenge today. My vision is that as a member, follower of One today, I pray that you will have an opportunity to give into your own discomfort, such that God shows you the result of that someday soon. We want to see him working in our world, and we get the joy of being able to see that. I have a friend who has tons of stories over the years in his business about how God has worked miraculously. And he can't really connect the dots between the blessings and the steps that they took. And that's exactly right. We can't. We have to connect those dots with Jesus. Jesus is who connects those dots. He makes what we do because we trust him matter forever. And that's our calling as Christ followers. So today, hey, Brenda, I see you just joined. I'm excited about what God's doing in our community. I'm excited about how he continues to call us and to challenge us to get outside of where we're comfortable and to do what he would have us do. I want to follow him that way today, don't you? I love the fact that we get to live out our faith every day. Thank you for being a part of Follower of One. Thank you for being a marketplace minister and for helping me have the courage to keep going and to do this stuff. We have a great God, and I'm praying for all of us that we see him, that we see him working, and we see him allowing us to reap bountifully because we sowed bountifully. I look forward to that day, and I'm excited about it. Remember, we have the Joy of Generosity workshop coming up. There should be a sign-up page for that soon, but there's an event in our community. So if you go to the events and look for Joy of Generosity and RSVP to that event on November the 4th and November the 5th, then we'll send you the link so that you can join us in that conference. And then let's be dangerous people today. Do something nobody expected of you. Give away a little more. Do a little more. It will prompt other people to wonder why. And when they ask, we can tell them. We get to tell them that we do what we do because we follow Jesus. Thanks for being Marketplace Ministers. Thanks for joining me on this live stream today. I'm excited about what God's doing in our community. And if I can do anything to help you live out your faith more or do something else, God's given you an idea and you'd love to figure out a way to do it, then give me a call. You can connect with me through any of these platforms. My calendar link is on every email I send. I'm happy for everyone to just check it out and let's go do what Jesus is calling us to do. Thanks very much.